Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is fine this morning. We are back for another week of our 1,000 pound challenge, which we actually reached on August 1st. And so we are 42 weeks into the year, and we've far surpassed the 1,000 pound mark. But I hope you'll hang on to see just where we are. And I just wanted to real quickly. It's a busy day for me, and so I really want to take this over quickly and tell you all the things that have gone into that 1,000 pound challenge that we are diverting weight from going to the landfill and putting it actually back into my garden. Things that I do recycle, like cans, are still going out in my recycling. So the things that are going into my garden are strictly things that would have gone pretty much into the trash. And, things like eggshells. And eggshells get pulverized and they get fed to my worms. But if they weren't going to get fed to the worms, they would add, in this pulverized state, would really add some calcium back to my soil. As it is, the worm castings do just the same thing. Another thing that I pulverize are my shrimp shells or prawn shells, whichever you call them. And so the other thing I have is here is some moringa leaves that I go ahead and I pulverize mine. I dry them and then I go ahead and put them through my Miracle blender. And my NutriBullet, I'm sorry, is what I have. And so and that's, all of the nitrogen side. I have avocado pits, I have banana peels, I have strawberry tops, anything in that family, any of the skins of vegetables or fruits, things that you're going to throw away, you're going to put down the garbage disposal, you're going to put out in your garbage. You can take those, you can break them down. I mean, you can put them in your dehydrator and make a great powder out of that you can either feed your worms or you can feed your soil. Either way, wonderful. On the carbon side, we have shredded paper, we have shredded cardboard, toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, wrapping paper rolls, all sorts of things. On the coffee, if you drink coffee, you can use your coffee bags, tea bags, herbal tea bags. The coffee filters are great at the bottom of a pot. They hold back the soil from running out. If you're not doing that and you're putting it outside and you're going to put it in your compost pile, I like to take mine and rip them apart just a little bit, and that really helps. If you've got things like cereal and you're not eating it, the kids aren't eating it, somebody's not eating it, you can add that to your compost. You can save that. You can give it to your worms. Anything that's stale that you're going to throw away, feed either to your worms or to your compost. I was thinking about something that a few years back, I got to the point where we were having too many sweets. My husband's been diabetic for over 20 years, and but occasionally I would still make a cake, and I would freeze part of it and then just take out a slice or two at a time, and we would have that, or we would be eating a slice a night, and that's not good for a diabetic. But the cake mixes really only last for like a couple years, because a cake mix already has things in it like baking soda, or baking powder, and baking powder and self-rising flour, that sort of thing. Well, after a little while, that sort of thing loses its oomph. It no longer has any power to do that. And if you've ever if you've ever done that and baked a cake that didn't have anything, boy, It's not very tasty. It had a horrible flavor to it. But I was thinking, gee, if I was doing it now, I would say, well, you know what? I could sprinkle that on the worms, or I could give it to my compost pile. But the liners in your cereal are a plastic bag, and you can use those. Say you want to keep things in your freezer until the next day when you're throwing things out, and you don't want to have it open. Put them in the bag, put a little clip on it. It's great. So there's all sorts of little goody things that you can do that you can add to your compost pile or add to your worms. The other thing is any of your canned goods that you have a liquid in them, as long as it's not a heavy salt liquid, but if it's, the no salt added or whatever, you can use that. I put because it usually ends up in a can like that. There's 4 ounces, so you're paying for that 4 ounces of liquid. You pick it up. If it were 4 ounces lighter, you'd go, gee, I'm not getting a very good bargain here. But because there's liquid added to it, if you take that liquid and you add it to your, I add it to my sprinkling can, and my plants are they're really rocking and rolling. So hang on just a sec. Okay, so here we are. Let's get down to business. So here's our calendar. I donate to Boys Town, and so they just sent me the one for 2024, and I thought about, am I going to do this next year? I don't know. I'm sure I will do it whether I report to you or not. But if you think it's fun and you think that I should keep on going and reporting to you weekly, I suppose I could. I had the nicest compliment before I do anything else. I had the nicest compliment. Jason and Colleen from Clive's Conundrum. They're now in Springfield, Illinois, and they were in Vancouver, but they've moved. And really very entertaining and very knowledgeable couple. They said that due to them watching my channel, they were having shrimp that they call prawns, and they were having them for dinner. And because they watched my channel, they decided to save the prawn shells and dry them and pulverize them, and then use them for their worms. So thank you. That was really, it made me feel like I'm actually doing something other than spending time every Sunday coming here. So anyway, we had no grass clippings. Brian didn't cut his grass this week, and ours was like a pound, I think, because it's October and everything's slowed down, and we're getting cool nights, so our grass really isn't growing, and we haven't had rain in a week, so that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So anyway, long story short, we ended up having 19 pounds, 8.7 ounces. Our total is now up to 1,602 pounds, 1,602 pounds, 11.8 ounces. So week 42, we only have 10 weeks left in the series to go. One other thing I wanted to say to you was that I made a couple wreaths, and as simple as could be to make. If anybody out there has any leaf vining, vines that you in our case, we live on a preserve, is off the back. And muscadine grapes are just, they're just everywhere. They're the weed here. And so this was tangling and strangling my plumeria tree. So I had to try and work it out and get it out. And it has all of these, grapevines have their own little way of hanging on to everything. And so I took about 20 feet and I just twirled it around and around. Now, these leaves are going to get crusty and dry, and they are going to fall off, and they're going to go in the compost pile. So that was one little wreath that I can go ahead and decorate and do whatever. I could spray it a different color, do whatever. You can always make something out of just about nothing. And the other was, this is pampas grass, for anybody who's ever seen pampas grass. And I just took handful and then I just tied it to the back. This is a straw wreath. And I just tied it to the back and I sprayed it with a spray. It's called glossy wood tone. That might just be called wood tone now, I don't know. But I had the can for a long time. But you can see here's one of the little plumes that still hung on. I didn't even realize it had done that. But this I actually made last year, and so this year I just kind of pulled it out. But it would look really pretty with a big gold bow or a big chocolate looking bow. And so just a thought, you're out there, you're foraging, some people. If you saw branches hanging from from cedar trees or anything like that, cut some down, bring them home, bring it in so that you can kind of say, I made that. And people go, wow, you mean you didn't go to Joann's, you didn't go to Hobby Lobby, you didn't get, no, I took it, I made it. I mean, this literally was made from the tree. And that one does have a straw wreath, but you know, I made it. Have a great day. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and I hope to see you next week. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye. And don't forget, garden what you've got, and I hope you'll give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, something. Take care. Bye-bye.